KELOLAND, your home. You might have heard that a time or two. It's our station's logo. But for a lot of us here at the station, it takes on a special meaning because, like a lot of you, we grew up in KELOLAND. Tonight, I take you back to my hometown of Parker, where things have changed a lot since I was last there. Welcome to Parker, where its residents believe life's a little bigger in a small town. Parker was incorporated in 1878, and like a lot of small towns in the Midwest, it started out as a dusty old railroad town.
I think it's named after a daughter of one of the engineers that went through here.
Ron Nelson, who's the mayor of Parker, says the population of the town hasn't changed much over the years, with just over 1,000 people. But that could be changing.
We have a lot of new homes.
Parker has 4 new developments, and the lots are almost full.
I think our demographics have changed a lot in the last few years. I think at one time we were fairly old. Now we have a lot of young families.
The city has been making improvements to the parks, ball fields, and playgrounds to accommodate those younger families, some who have moved here from out of state.
There's a family that just moved into our neighborhood, and they moved from California. And they have 2 kids, and she's pregnant with their 3rd, and they moved out of California because they said that they were burning up there. They want to get away from everything that had. They bought the house here in Parker, sight unseen, just pictures on the internet, and they feel they're in modern-day Mayberry.
Mark Caston grew up here, moved away for a short period of time, and has since returned.
I said when I was 18 years old, I wanted every reason to leave Parker, but then once I started having a family, I wanted every reason to come back.
The Parker School has a couple of new additions, and like a lot of smaller communities, Parker takes pride in its sports teams, as you can tell by the trophy case. Yep, that's me in the 2nd row, sporting the white home jersey, number 12.
It was a great place to grow up.
One person I grew up with and played a lot of basketball with has done quite well for himself. He's South Dakota Supreme Court Justice Mark Salter. Salter remembers playing a lot of basketball for the high school team, but also right here.
We had Schaefer's Court, of course, which was an institution. It was right there on the west edge of town, perched up on this little hilltop, really scenic as those things go, right along the Vermilion River. And that was the scene of innumerable basketball games.
Time hasn't been too kind to the old court, as you can tell. But at one time, Schaefer's Court became a gathering place for a lot of young kids.
We were lucky to have it. And Mrs. Schaefer was gracious to let us be there. And, you know, the only thing we ever did was once in a while, of course, we'd go up there and take a drink out of the garden hose.
Long before he ever worked in the field of law,
jobs were hard to come by.
Salter worked in, well, a farm field.
But like everybody probably in those days, early on, a lot of walking through bean fields and cutting weeds out of bean fields. I did some work, kind of farmhand work for some of my friends who lived on farms.
I myself also worked in the fields. I was part of a harvest crew where long days and nights meant you ate your lunch and supper right there in the field. Agriculture is a big part of Parker yet today, and it gets showcased every year at probably the biggest attraction Parker's known for.
Well, of course, the fair.
Our fair, you know, without a doubt.
The Turner County Fair is the oldest county fair in South Dakota, and as the slogan says, the 4 best days of summer.
You know, we'd like to have something other than that, but why? It's 4 days of people just pile into Parker to go to that.
As Parker residents continue to thrive at a small-town atmosphere, they know living only 30 miles from Sioux Falls, that could change one day. But they say they welcome that.
People are moving here because they like a small town. They're not moving here because they have family connections, and I think that has a lot to say for the community itself.
Yeah, Parker has about 500 kids in the school district, which is about half the town. So it has plans to build a new elementary school and remodel the old one into a new high school.